This week Bitcoin had an insane run up and now we're seeing a huge consolidation happening for Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame. And today we can expect a huge breakout for Bitcoin to either to the top side or the downside, and in this video I will tell you exactly what we can see for Bitcoin today. Because of the crazy price action this week, there's a lot to talk about for Bitcoin, so I will have a look at Bitcoin on several time frames with you, so you are prepared for this next move. There's also a lot of interesting data coming into the market, and the Ethereum and the Bitcoin ETFs are showing interesting price action yesterday, so you don't want to miss any of this. I'm also going to have a look at the two altcoins, Chainlink and XRP, but about that later in the video. So you want to watch this video all the way to the end? Don't forget to slap off that like button and let's dive right into the charts. Yesterday in my video I've been talking about this huge resistance area for Bitcoin and that we saw a huge break of this huge resistance area and we turned it into support. And now we can see we are trading around this support level again, so this support level needs to hold for Bitcoin in order to remain a little bit more bullish than bearish. But there's also a bear scenario that we're going to break the support area, retest it as resistance again, and then we have to aim for lower levels. But of course we want to see a bounce of this huge support area and that we are going to see a separation of this level. But however, we are retesting this previous resistance as support. So for now it's looking more bullish than bearish. So let's see if Bitcoin can separate itself from this level and see a bullish continuation of the price. And if we then zoom into the 1 hour time frame, we can see this huge consolidation is unfolding after this huge run up for Bitcoin. So we are seeing those two resistance areas on the top side, and on the lower side we can see multiple touch points as support. So let's see if Bitcoin can see a pump to this huge resistance area and maybe force a break to the top side. We retest this resistance as support, and from there we can enter the market in the long and aim for higher targets, and then the top side of the formation will be complemented with the breakout target, and that will be complemented with the previous all-time high of $93,000. So this could be the next move for Bitcoin, and this could already happen today. But of course there's also a bearish scenario possible that we're going to see a break of the support, that we're going to retest it as resistance, and then we have to aim for lower targets. And then we can see lower levels for Bitcoin, but I will tell you about that later in this video. So watch this video all the way to the end to be informed if you want to know these levels to the downside. And yesterday the Bitcoin ETFs had a bit of a bearish day. We saw that BlackRock was still buying for $126.5 million, but the Fidelity, the Bitwise and the ARK Invest Bitcoin ETF are selling like crazy, and also Grayscale was selling a little bit of their portion of Bitcoin. So in total we saw an outflow of $400.7 million, so this was a little bit bearish for Bitcoin of course. But however, and if we then zoom out on the daily time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is in this huge parabolic uptrend, and every time we touch this lower side support we saw a nice bounce to the top side. So potentially Bitcoin can see a little bit of a throwback to this huge support area, and where we're going to touch this region, I'm going to buying more Bitcoin, because I think when we are going to see a huge higher low play for Bitcoin, Bitcoin will still be in a huge uptrend, and from there you want to enter the market in the long, because we are still in a huge uptrend, and I think we will see a huge exponential move afterwards after we touch this area. So keep in mind that we're created this higher high and that we could potentially also create a higher low. So this would still be very healthy price action, and from there you can enter the market again, and then you can aim for higher targets, and this could be the last dump before we are going to reach the $100,000. And if we then zoom out on the daily chart, we can see Bitcoin was in this huge downtrend and we shifted into an uptrend. And I've been talking about this uptrend for the last months now, and you could have been buying Bitcoin every time we were in this huge higher low place, because every time we made a higher low, I was been telling you that I bought more Bitcoin. So every time we created this higher low structure, I was buying more Bitcoin. Now we created this higher high, and this exponential move to the top side was very bullish. But of course corrections always happen, and of course also in a bull market. So keep in mind that we could see a little bit of a throwback to create this higher low play for Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin is going to create this higher low, I am very much interested in buying more Bitcoin, because in an uptrend you want to buy every dip. And if we have a look at Google Trends, we can see the search term for Bitcoin is going to exponential to the top side, and we're seeing this huge spike, and this was the same thing as we saw in the last bull market. So this means that retail is coming back into the market, and this means that there will be more volatility, because a lot of retail means more emotions into the market, and this will pump up the price of Bitcoin even more, I guess, because they also have a lot of FOMO. But if we're going to see a huge dump, they will also panic and they will sell at the bottom again. So we could see huge pumps, but also huge dumps. So keep in mind that if retail is coming into the market, we will see more exponential moves to either the top side or either the downside. And earlier in the video I thought that if we're going to see a bearish move today for Bitcoin, there are lower levels to look at. And now I'm going to tell you exactly which levels I'm looking at. And if we have a look at the 4-hour time frame, we can see some huge resistance and support levels coming into play. And these are the levels that I'm looking at currently. So this could be a very interesting play for Bitcoin to, if you want to aim for a higher low play. And if Bitcoin is coming back to these levels, I'm buying more Bitcoin. So potentially, if we're going to see a breakdown, we could see some similar price action like this. And if we're going to this level, I will buy more Bitcoin. But of course, then we could also see more downside from here. And if we're going to retest this level, I'm also going to buy more Bitcoin, and so on and so on. And this will be my last level to look at for Bitcoin to buy more. And that will be around the $73,000. So potentially we could see a huge bearish move unfolding. And every time we touch these lower levels, I'm buying a little bit of a portion of BTC. So let's see if we can come back to this level. But of course, we all want to see this bounce to the top side again, and that we're going to create new higher highs. But of course, you always have to keep in mind that we could also see a correction even in the bull market. And if we go lower, then you want to buy more Bitcoin for the long term. And the first interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Chainlink. We can see that Chainlink broke this huge horizontal resistance area, and now we're seeing a bullish break, and this is looking very bullish. And when we were creating this bullish move, I was telling you that we could potentially see a retest of the previous resistance to turn it into support, and that's exactly what Chainlink did. So looking at this chart, we can see that now we are almost retesting this huge resistance area as support. And from here you can enter the market in the long, and I think this next huge resistance level will be the very interesting horizontal level to look at. And if you're entering the market from here, you could potentially take a little bit of profits at this level. So if you're going to enter the market from this level and we come back to this level, that would mean that you could make a 33% increase on Chainlink. So that is insane, of course. And potentially I think that Chainlink will see levels above the $100 in the coming cycle. So we're still very early because we're still at the $13. So potentially if we're going to see this retest, you want to enter the market for Chainlink in the long, and don't say I didn't warn you, because this will be a very interesting level to take some profits. And if we're going to break through this level, then we can aim for new higher highs. And let me know in the comments if you still hold Chainlink in your portfolio and if you're still bullish on Link. And yesterday we had some crazy price action on XRP, so this is the next altcoin I'm going to have a look at. And XRP rose to 80 cents because the SEC chair Gary Gensler hints at resignation, and he is going to resign before Trump is going to be in the government. So this was having a very bullish effect on the price of XRP. And we can also see that 18 US states are going to sue the SEC, alleging to unconstitutional overreach and unfair persecution of the crypto industry under Gary Gensler. So they are thinking that Gary Gensler made a mess in the SEC, and that's what we all saw. So this was also having a very bullish effect because Gary Gensler is going to resign. And also Michael Saylor is saying that replacing the SEC chair Gary Gensler is incredibly bullish for digital assets. And of course he hints at XRP, but also pro-Bitcoin policies. So this is interesting to see, and we will see a lot of huge bullish inflows, I think, in the coming months. And looking at the chart for XRP, I was telling you that after this huge bullish break, we could potentially see a retest of this resistance area to turn it into support. And that's exactly what XRP did. So we broke above this huge resistance area, we came back to test it as support, and from here you could have entered the market in the long. And from this huge bullish retest, you could have made an interesting trade for almost 30%. And of course, to the point where we are now, it could be a 23%. So this was an interesting trade to make for XRP. And this is looking very good. And this huge pump could mean the start of a huge run-up for XRP. And if we then zoom out to the weekly time frame, we can see this huge consolidation formation was unfolding for XRP on the weekly chart. And we can see a consolidation of 154 weeks. So this was the longest consolidation I've ever seen in crypto. And now we can see a huge bullish break of this huge consolidation formation for XRP. So if XRP closes this weekly candle at this level, we can confirm the breakout. And then we could potentially see a little bit of a retest of the previous resistance to turn it into support. And then we can aim for higher targets. And the breakout target of this formation will be the top side of the formation. And that will be confluent within 96 cents. And that will be around this level. So this could be a very interesting trade for XRP to make. And let's see if XRP can reach the $1 very soon. And let me know in the comments if you hold XRP in your portfolio and what your price prediction is for XRP in the coming year. So please give a like if you find the video useful, and it will help this channel a lot. Don't forget to follow me on my other socials, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.